What's going on, guys? This is Weekends Warrior Disc Golf. You heard that right. Weekend Warrior Disc Golf. A lot of people have that understanding that we have jobs Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or whatever it is throughout the week, and we don't have the opportunity to actually play disc golf during the week like the pros. So we have to grind out during the weekend, and this is the podcast for you. It's the grinders, it's the hustlers that play disc golf during the weekends. We find any tournament possible. We find any just flex starts or even just a league on Sundays. And we try to play as much as possible. And this podcast is for us, the Weekend Warriors. My name is Ty, and I have Kyle here with me. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can go to KG_disc golf. And also for me, it's Ty Guy _disc golf. We made it pretty easy, pretty simple, but
Mhm.
real fast. I just want to say that Kyle and I actually have done a lot of double tournaments, and also we've just been learning and growing disc golf. I actually did not know disc golf existed until I started playing with Kyle. Kyle actually introduced me to disc golf, which I have to say thank you so much, because now we're creating a podcast, which we've been talking about this forever. And the reason why we want to create this podcast as well is like we have the pros, we got the Brody Smith, and Paul Uvari doing the tour live, which by the way, like giving a shout out for those guys. Like they're giving
Mhm.
that it's a great podcast. If you haven't listened to them yet, go listen to them. They get a cool insight on how it is professionally throughout the tour, and that is great for them. But we're not pros. So like even though we love listen to it, they're not in our same field or level play. I mean, like it's great to hear a pro side, but at the same time, you guys probably need to hear something from you know, amateur players who do tournaments, but also casually just play during the weekend and stuff when we can. And same thing. There, I know there are several options as well for podcasts as well for disc golf, but we want to make sure that the weekend warriors have a chance to have something finally for their own, and that's why we're here today. So
Exactly, exactly, and like you said, perfectly, we wanted to create something for, just the everyday disc golfer. As you said, we're busy, we're busy during the week. I work a lot of Saturdays. Every 6 weeks, I finally get a Saturday off. And when off season starts for the pros, right? My off season legitimately pretty much starts too, because I'm not getting home until it gets dark out. I can't be, I'm not playing. So my time to shine is during the weekends. So yeah, as you said, this is, for those hustlers out there that are just trying to get their weekend games in whenever they can, and viewing at, more of a amateur perspective of things, because we view things so much differently, as you said, than like Brody, than Paul and stuff, but even Hunter and Trevor with grip lock and everything else, they've been part of the higher market, the pros and everything for so long that their views and stuff is even, I would consider, top tier too, with, more so on par with them, where we're out there every week, experiencing different things. We don't want to call people on and making scenes and
yeah.
doing this and that. And, this is what this is all going to be about.
Yeah, and we're very excited to see where this goes. Obviously, you guys are hearing this at the end of 2023 season. This is December. A lot of people doing the Vlogmas, which I know we're shouting out a lot of people, but I mean, like I said, we're disc golf enthusiasts as well. Like we absolutely love the game. So I mean, like Simon Lazat, obviously he does his Vlogmas as well, and like so this is kind of us. We wanted to start now because we don't want to be those guys that start January 1st, 2024. Hey guys, what's going on? Type of situation. Like we're going to start right now. So that's how you guys are prepared and ready to see us hopefully blow up in 2024. Like we're very excited to see where this takes. And this, which goes into what we're about to do, are the future of this podcast. Well, it's going to probably change up a lot. We're going to try to figure out kind of the odds and ends of things here. So we're going to be doing different segments, different styles, maybe even. We might have some special guests. We don't know what that's going to entail, but it could be, it's probably going to be more of the local guys though. Like definitely helping out, supporting those people. That'd be kind of cool to
Mhm.
experience that. What to also understand, before I moved, beginning of this year, both Kyle and I were Midwest disc golfers. So I was St. Louis based. Um, Kyle is actually a couple hours out of Chicago. So we are definitely those Midwest grinders. And I'm telling you, just because it's cold, we're not stopping. There's been multiple tournaments and also a lot of still leagues going on still in the Midwest. And we do it during the snow. I thought that was really weird because my local tournament here, which I actually moved down into Destin, Florida, which is a lot of the pros actually do move down here because of it's warmer, but I don't know why, but like in the middle of mid-September, they actually closed down the league that I was playing in. They're like, "Oh, it's the league is over," and I'm just like, "For what?" They're like, "Oh, it's coming winter." I'm just like, "It's still 60 degrees." Like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I wish it was here. I would keep my league going all year if I could, if that was the case. I run
no,
Friday night leagues here, and I would gladly take that throughout the entire year. But
no.
it's really hard
They
to get people to play. And the problem is with winter leagues here, it's getting dark by 5 o'clock, 4:45
yeah,
at the
100%.
worst, and it's so hard for me to run a league after work like that. Where in the summer I have till
Yeah.
9. But yeah, no, I would love to do it. But a lot of people, as you said though, it's crazy though because a lot of people, even in southern states, had the mindset of
Mhm.
disc golf season's ending. We're going to end our leagues too. But
Yeah.
I know there are leagues out there, not everybody that will run throughout. But when you're in like certain areas, it's like now you're missing out on, playing disc golf league throughout the winter. The leagues that are available are hours away. And you're like, oh, well, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that every weekend.
Yeah, and it's just weird because like St. Louis, we had so any of the tournament or not tournaments, any of the league plays, which definitely in the St. Louis base, it was very saturated. We have Gateway Disc Golf literally right there. That's God, I can't think of his name for some reason. Nico. Um, what's his last name?
LeCastro.
LeCastro? Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just like, what was it? My mind went blank. Sorry, man.
Hmm.
Nico LeCastro, obviously a fellow St. Louis based. It's very heavily driven with disc golf, tons of courses and stuff like that. But there's multiple like during winter times, the evening leagues become glow disc golf. So a lot of that they switch over to that style, and then my actual home course was Sunday morning. So obviously it stayed perfectly fine. The daylight or there's still
Hmm.
light. Colder, but it's still like we were still out there. So yeah, I just think it's just crazy that moving down here uh changes that. And I mean, like obviously I could play by myself. I'm still kind of the new kid on the block. Like, I mean, I've built friends down here to play, but it's just kind of difficult. And I actually live on a little island, so I have to drive like you guys may be like, "Oh, that's not far," but I'd have to drive like, 35, 40 minutes to the nearest decent course, and it's like it's just that's a little difficult to do. The amount of time that I was able to do when I lived in St. Louis, where I lived 5 minutes from one, and then
Exactly.
Kyle lives right across the street from one. So, not even joking, like, you're literally like,
I am right across the street.
across the street to your hometown course, which I think is amazing, which you get to have the opportunity, which, like I said, in the future podcast, we'll talk about it because Kyle's been dabbling into the
Mhm.
actual like TD realm and going through like actually building events. He's helped
Mhm.
out with organizing, cleaning out the courses, making the courses better. Like I'm telling you, like we actually have, I'm sure he has it. He has before and after photos of what it looked like. Cause I remember when we were playing, we didn't, there was not even T pads. There were just like a
Nope.
little dirt section and like a little
Uh-huh.
hole that said hole one. And then now you guys have concrete pads and like you guys
Mhm.
have different, uh, beautiful things. Like you're building just amazing course there, and the change is insane. And then you guys just added 3 new holes in woods,
Right.
which I thought that was
Mhm.
insanely awesome. So now you guys are considered a 21 hole. course
21
now.
hole. Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
21. So like definitely amazing. If you guys are watching on YouTube right now, definitely sub and like this and also add your comment for your place to play. But if you guys want to look up on UDisc, definitely check out Walnut, Illinois. That's actually a place. I know people are
It
probably
is.
freaking out going, what the heck is that? Walnut, Illinois. That's a small town. However, though, they have a 21 hole course and it is amazing. Definitely go check it out and definitely, rate it, review it because they're trying to get it on the maps. And not only that, but the town is definitely has been heavily influenced by
Mhm.
the disc golf community. Each tournament that has happened there, because they do a Walnut Open, it grows larger and larger each year. And I'm seeing you guys are changing a lot too with you guys are adding more food options and stuff like that, which is obviously
Right.
very crucial for tournaments and stuff. So
Right.
it's insane how the walnut is actually growing. So if you guys have a chance, check it out. Also, comment down below uh, some courses because
There-
there might be a chance that Kyle and I might, come and check out a course and we could talk about and stuff. But we don't know where this
Heck,
will take, but you never know.
yeah, exactly. And as you said, checking out some courses, and we do, uh, being brother-in-laws, we
Yeah.
do family vacations. So,
Yes, 100%.
anytime we go on family vacations, that's a must thing that we do. Wherever we're going, we're gonna go find a disc golf course to play. I mean, that's just part of what we do. It's part of our tradition. So,
Yeah,
depending on when we figure out where we're going this year or anything else, if you are from that area, let us know. We will find a play, that course to go check out, because we love looking at new courses. We love finding new courses and everything else. So
that's perfect.
perfect.
But let's go back to what the future is for this podcast. Plans. What is it? Like I said, 2024 is going to be an amazing year. I'm very excited for it. First off, already they came out with a banger where they're not starting in Vegas. They're starting in my now hometown, Florida, which
Yes.
I might actually get a chance to view it. They're starting around with the Orlando area. I'm very excited about that. I was talking about that with Sarah just recently. I was just like, "Hey, I'm like, do you know uh, the disc golf tour is going to start in Florida?" She's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "We should probably check it out in February." Like, we're very excited. So we might actually stop by and you guys might see some videos of me actually at one of the tournaments at the very beginning of the year of the season, which I'm very excited for. But like I said, future of this podcast, we definitely have a lot ideas. We're going to be running through some recent news that are probably happening in and out. Definitely at the beginning of the year. We'll definitely keep up with the on and off of who's going where type of situation.
Mhm.
We definitely are going to talk about and like post tournaments and also pre tournaments. These podcasts will be landing to you every single Wednesday. So it's right in the middle of the week. So you're getting the past weekend goodies and also the before goodies. And we want to make sure that we're hitting everything as possible for you guys because like I said, we are just disc golf enthusiasts, but also players as well. But we just want to make sure that we give you guys as much content as needed, um, because that's what we love to do. We love talking about.
Exactly.
Every single day, just Kyle and I are just talking about disc golf. Like, there's not one
Hmm.
moment where we're not talking about. So, but also we're planning on doing some giveaways as well. There's gonna be a huge one at the very beginning. That probably will be launched in the next. You guys are gonna be hearing this, but that coming up weekend, I'm pretty sure we'll launch a insanely good uh giveaway. So definitely start following us on Instagram to see that. You will be seeing that flooding through our um, stories for there, and then also, like I said, we'll be hitting different segments as well. But you never know. You'll see what happens with 2024. But definitely right now it is off season, so there's not much information to fully go through, but we're going to definitely finish the year just wrapping up 2023, all the amazing moments that happen and some
Hmm.
terrible moments and then some personal tournament craziness that's happened because there has been a lot of situations. I didn't get to play as much tournament as I have been because, like I said, I
Hmm.
did move down. Um, it was a 12-hour move. So the distance was 800 miles. So it was a very big move. Is my one of my biggest or the biggest move I've ever done so far. So just life happened. So I didn't get to do as much. However, though, I got to watch every single week. I did not miss a single tour stop. This was my first season where I did not miss a single bit of it. I got to see all of it, and
Hmm.
it was truly amazing. But then also what I really would like to do, which we did that this season, actually, I don't know who fully won, but we do a was we call it the
Pretty sure I won.
we we call it the pick six. So what we do is before uh a weekly tournament for the pro tour, we pick three NPO or the top three NPO that we think is going to be first, second, and third. And then same thing with FPO. And so what we do is for example, like let's say my top three pick is Eagle, Simon, and Ricky. Um, and they play, and it's Eagle, Simon, and Ricky. Each spot that I get right is 2 points. And but let's say I have the top three, but they're all in different, positions. So like let's say it's flipped. Um, then I still just get a single point because they made it into the top three. And obviously, if your pick does not make it into the top three at all, you don't win. So, or you don't get any points. So the max points obviously is 12 points. Or you could just get 6 points if you get all three right, or 0 points. It doesn't matter. So, but
Mhm.
the thing is the max points you get in one single week is 12 points. And that's how we do it. And we probably could do a bet if we really want to for 2024 coming up. But other than that, like that's pretty much kind of the future of what the Weekend Warrior disc golf podcast will look like for you guys. But yeah, we're excited. But as of right now, though, we're gonna go through kind of, you know, just some segments that we're gonna go through today. And then we'll be following this as well for next week. And but we're very excited. But yeah, let's just right now, Kyle, let's wrap up 2023 season. Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is. Like, what do you want to talk about? I'm excited for it. Um, do want to mention though, Isaac Robinson and Kristen Tatar World Championships. That
Hmm.
that is first off, Kristen Tatar, obviously insanely great year.
Oh, mhm.
Absolutely dominated. I wish she ended with a bang though. I wish she was able to finish strong, but however, though I understand that she freaking lights out every single week, played very hard, and like I just know at the end she was, to me personally, gassed, pain. What do you want to call that? Like I just feel like there was a lot happening. She's been gone for many months, from home, obviously from Estonia. It just I don't know. Just so many like variables, but overall, like she did a great. It was a great clinic for her. She was outstanding.
She's most consistent player in the FPO
Yeah,
field,
and
easily,
like
especially right now, as Paige being hurt and stuff like that, And so Paige is odd because I feel like not necessarily burnt out before she got injured, but I don't know what it is. She seemed to flip flop a lot on her season, but I feel like maybe just fight to get back to compete and stuff. Hopefully, will boost up these players even more so. But I mean, consistency wise, Kristen Tatar is just unbelievable. Like week in and week out,
well,
fantastic player, and it will be interesting to see what happens because the FPO field, I think, is still continuing to grow, and
mhm,
it is getting better. There's a lot of players that I'm like, oh wow,
yeah.
she's really getting better every tournament and stuff like that.
Oh
So
yeah, like Santa Lanata, and then
you
even
can never count out Big Money Missy.
yeah, Missy
um,
Gannon obviously just going nowhere. Owen Skaga's even popping in and out here and there, but she's consistent as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, you got Kat Merch even, like, she's just
Hmm.
popping in and out too. If Evelina Solomon could actually figure out her putting, she's also
Hannah too. Like
yeah,
she's
Hannah
another one. If they
Blamos,
could just
like
putt, like if they can figure out the putting game, I mean, they would be destroying the tournament too.
oh,
Because I don't know how
100%.
many times that I've watched them that they they're pretty much in birdie range almost every hole, and they're 4-3 putting. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, come on.
I mean, Evelina has the arm. She honestly I think she does throw the furthest for FPO. I don't know, like
It's unbelievable.
I don't know, like, how accurate that fully is, but I do know that she's a bomber. She could throw. It's just
Hmm.
her short game's a little it doesn't look clean. But I kinda wanna
Looks like mine.
go I kinda wanna I kinda wanna go back to the whole Paige Pierce thing. Do you think the reason why she doesn't play as like, we think that she doesn't play as well is because maybe she feels just content and just like she doesn't feel like not I don't wanna use the word challenge, but, like, um do you think that she just feels comfortable? Like she has a good she has a good sponsorship. She has a line of disc. We still don't know her numbers, but obviously she's getting paid very well. Especially if she's able to, live out in like Hawaii half the time. And like,
Hmm.
I don't know if she's like, I think she is now relocated in Pensacola. I'm not
I
sure.
believe so,
I'm not
if
sure
I'm not mistaken.
how, because I know Eric Oakley is down here.
Hmm.
Which I'm actually only an hour and 10 minutes away from Pensacola.
Yep.
So, like, I'm just like, "Yeah, I should probably just go over there." No, just
Hmm.
but, like, I don't know, like, what do you think? Like, is it because you think that she feels she's, like, comfortable? Um, like, do you think that she's just it's kinda like a Paul Macbeth situation. It's just like, for Paul Macbeth, I like to be honest, he is the GOAT. Like he is like pretty much the MJ of disc golf. Like I get it too. Clint Kimo is the same thing. Like he was a staple. Like 12 worlds. Like he was amazing. But at the same time though, like Paul Macbeth, like he's in that point where he is so financially stable and steady. He does not have to win every single week, which is great. Like we're getting to the point where pro disc golf is looking better. Like it's becoming to the point where they don't have to worry about how am I getting to my tournaments? And like,
Hmm.
but at the same time, though, he's using the money to develop more around the world, literally around the world, to grow the sport even more. So he's now in the factor of like, he's trying to grow the sport. Like, he's still playing it, but the longevity, though, like, he is on the older spectrum of disc golf. So might as well just your name is relevant, use your talent, your skills, and also your platform and just grow the sport. Cause like that's the whole point at the end of the day is we're all trying to just grow the sport. And
Hmm.
so if he's the person that's willing to do it, then like obviously let him do it. And then like his mind's all over the place. And now he has a kid. Like he just had one.
Right,
So
right.
like now his mind's
Exactly.
on that.
A lot of these pros, to be honest, are starting to get that age where, I mean, Simon just had a kid and has another
Yeah.
one coming on the way. Like you said, Paul just had a kid, and Paul to me is at that point where, like you said, comfortable, set. He's looking to the future. He's setting up his life for when he's done to still be involved in some kind of way in disc golf,
Mhm.
to bring his child up stable and financially comfortable and everything else and everything like that. And um like they're looking beyond their disc golf career, which is fantastic. But and as you said, we're getting to that point that disc golf slowly kind of finally getting there where these contracts from manufacturers are looking really nice to keep your family stable and
Yeah.
on the road comfortably and everything else. But then when you go back to Paige, obviously I think she's financially fine. She's stable. She's a
Yeah.
household name in the FPO field. She has been for the longest time. People argue still could be considered the GOAT because Kristen hasn't had as much um, spotlight time, maybe,
Well, I mean,
to be
like you're
considered the GOAT.
I mean, also you got 5-time worlds and 2 times right now. So like
Exactly, exactly. And she has a ton right now.
mhm.
And um, the this guy. it's so weird with Paige though.
Mm,
It's almost like motivation almost
yeah,
sometimes feels like as there's a lack there for a couple tournaments, the stretches. I don't
yeah,
know if it's burnout or anything else. But again, this is just my opinion coming from me. I
yeah.
obviously have no idea. Tour life has got to be pretty, rough, being
Well,
out there every single week, um,
ha-
and playing tournaments every year there. And it's just consistent, constantly travel, entire United States and everything else. But
mm,
I don't know. You would think that Kristen Tatar, the way she's playing and the way people are starting to talk about her, like if she continues to play, she's probably the greatest. You would think. I feel Paige is going to want to take that back. Like I
yeah,
feel that should be motivation enough for Paige to be like, okay, I need to play more consistent.
yeah,
I need to play comfortable, play smart golf. As Kristen Tatar would say it herself, smart, boring disc golf. She just plays her game.
yeah.
That's what she does. It's just she plays her basic game. That's nothing that's going to hurt her, but things that will keep her ahead of everybody else. And I think if Paige can go back to that, I know Paige can do some crazy stuff,
Mm.
but if she can go just to that consistent, smart play, honestly, I think she's competing with Kristen.
Well, and I think it was one of those things where it could be even this even too, which I don't know if I mean, this might be just talking whatever, but I just feel like as well, like realistically in the past, besides like of course Katrina Allen, what actual challenge did Paige Pierce have when she actually
Mhm.
won those worlds? And like also like to the point where like there's a lot of skin matches where she was being introduced to like playing with the guys and just like because you know she's like I want more of a challenge, which is great. Like I'm not dissing that as all at all, but like I want to know, is it the factor of she felt like she was on top and then finally she had something that matched it and then just kept beating her almost week in and week out to the point like she's just like, well, time to focus on something else.
Mhm.
Like I'm just gonna stay comfortable. I'm gonna do my thing and just kind of just live my, end of the my disc golf career with, discraft and just kind of do what I need to do, push the disc I need to push, create my content and call it done. And like, could it be one of those situations where it's like she just feels like now she's outmatched? Or is she gonna actually get that fire under her again? But the only problem is I don't know if you recently saw this, but she just got done recently posting that she is now finally throwing after her foot being broken. And she literally said in the post, she's like, there's now this new challenge where I have to actually think my footwork before actually throwing the disc, and I've never done this before. And now she's been expressing that where it's like I have to actually pay attention to where my foot is and like I'm so nervous that my foot would give out or where my placement is and where I finish and stuff like that. And like I'm saying like if you ever have a chance to watch the video, like her tee off was like very slow mo. Like for a second, like
Mhm.
I thought it was in slow mo, and then it actually wasn't. It was very like just barely
Yeah,
thrown.
and because if I'm not mistaken, I believe in the post too, or one of her posts, she mentions about. I'm looking through her now. She mentions that she still can't put that complete pressure
Mhm.
on her foot to be able to get that power from
Yeah.
going into the brace and stuff. Um, so it's interesting because it's awkward. You're trying
Yeah.
to grow that strength and everything back up. Did you have you watched her little documentary that they
Yeah.
released?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. It's worst timing ever too. Worlds is coming up and everything else, and like she said, she knew it too. It was like in the back of her mind, she's like, I shouldn't do this, but she, it's like, oh, it's fine, and that's unfortunate. And I hope, I wish the best for her. I love, the more competition we have, the better.
Mhm.
I hope she can get that stride back. I
Yeah.
hope, she doesn't get. fall into any other issues. She gets that strength back, and we're getting Kristen Tatar, Paige Pierce battles, and hopefully, I don't know what Kat's gonna do. I don't know what's next for her, because I know I'm not saying she's retiring quite yet, but if I'm not mistaken, what last year she was talking about how she wasn't sure how many more years she had left. So I don't know if like watching Kristen and Paige battled out, maybe Kat can get one more solid good year in here, so we can get like them three plus with Own and Valerie and everybody else coming up. Hopefully, we can get some crazy FPO fields that are, no runaways. Things are coming down to the 18th hole and
I know.
going fighting for that playoff and stuff. So
It is just we'll definitely see 2024. It was definitely an interesting year this year, but I do agree that there's a lot of even like young guns coming into. There's a lot of
oh yeah.
junior AMs that are coming in that are female that are insanely crazy. Like I don't know her name fully. I totally forgot her name, but I do know that she throws insanely far, and so
The
she's
16-year-old.
yeah, that
She's only
one.
like 16. Oh, it was she just I cannot think of the name either now.
Yeah, but
I
she's just
apologize about that, but
but she definitely is a uh definitely someone to just look out for. And but yeah, it's very interesting about um just all of it. And I think Katrina Allen's like because you were mentioning that, I think her mind is just so all over the place right now. Like obviously
mhm,
like the whole blow up the her blow up situation for the champions, where
mhm.
the whole hot mic whole 18 situation and calling people names and stuff, and I'm just like, I mean, she's definitely she had a year and like it was very rough. I mean, I don't even know if it's she said that, she's lost her like mojo. Like that's the only way to describe it. Like
Mhm.
she just doesn't nothing's clicking for her and like it's getting annoying and she's getting annoyed and then, she's obviously I don't want to discredit what she's standing up for what her beliefs are for FPO and fighting for that. And then there's a lot of things that she's just going through where she's just, I think her mind is all over the place where she's just, her mental game is definitely beating her physical game. And I think
Yeah,
that's honest at the end of the day, I think that's what it is. I just think her mental game is not
mhm.
there right now. Like it's
And this,
just,
as much as disc golf is about technique, obviously
yeah,
us being amateurs, what this podcast is all about, we're are meant, we're trying to figure out form. We're trying
yeah,
to make sure our reach back is, not rounding behind us,
yeah,
brace. There's so much stuff we're focusing on that physical standpoints of things, motion and everything else, that
yeah,
a lot of it's mental though. You start thinking about it too much,
100%.
and like am I bracing? Is my nose down? Is this net? Our mental game is all about that, where we
Oh yeah,
start thinking too much about everything else instead of just picking a gap and throwing. The professional level, it's the same thing, but obviously they're not talking about thinking of form and different things like that. They have much bigger things to think of,
yeah,
strokes and how they want to shoot this tee, how to play this hole and that. So,
yeah,
but again, though, it's disc golf is a very mental game of, okay, I need to make, this toss. The wind's blowing this way, this way. I got to do, this disc would be the perfect for here. Heiser, Annie, whatever you want to do off the tee, what this putt looks like. Do I, lay up? Do I go for it? There's mental game is a major thing in there.
yeah. And I want to do mention that because like you could even like talk about this too is um when you're in tournaments, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a uh, uh a card with three other people that um you guys are just kind of chill, talking, having fun during a tournament, obviously, like just kind of
Mhm.
hanging out, like obviously, taking it seriously, but like enjoying the moment, or a card mates that zero talking, nobody's saying anything. The tension is so
It's the
high.
worst.
And like, so like I've had that. So like The
Of
the
course, I
tournament that
hate
I
that so
had,
much.
my first card mates were amazing. Like we were having fun, we were doing so well, and like we scored very high, and we were thinking like, oh, we're gonna be on the same card. Ironically, like we just miss each other like off by certain things. And I was actually on the chase card for this tournament. And so, like, I was in the running for potentially winning, and I was like, "Oh, like, this is it, like, this is gonna be my first dub, like, I'm gonna, like, win off the chase card, like, I got this." And then I walked up to our first, starting hole, and I was like, "Hey, guys, my name is Ty, like, excited to play with you guys, like, dude, we're on the chase card, like, this is exciting." Nobody said anything to me.
Sa-
It was completely silenced, nobody said anything, nobody said their name, like nothing was said. So I was like, "Oh, okay." So I kinda, like, put my bag down and, like, just start doing my stretches because I'm
Mhm.
30, so it's like, gotta make sure, I'm still nice and, warmed and, like, doing my normal, like, throws and getting some drinks in, like, just some water and all that just because it was hot, and I'm just like, "Alright," just trying to stay hydrated. And then, finally, somebody breaks the silence going, "Who's doing the digital? Who's doing the written scorecard?" And I'm just like, "Okay." I'm like and then all of a sudden one guy goes, "Actually, I think all of us should do, scorecards because we're on this chase." And I'm just like, sure, like, I don't mind doing that, like, all of us doing it."
Right.
And so, because like, obviously, like, we're trying to make sure, it's accurate, and then, like, I was, like, doing the typical, like, "Alright, guys, have a good, good round," type of situation. Silence. I'm just like, "Alright, cool."
No
I'm
fist
like,
bumps.
"No fist bumps today, I
No
guess."
fist
I'm just
bumps.
like,
Oh
"No fist
no!
bumps." I'm
You
like
always got a fist bump.
I'm like, "The guys, this is a C tier tournament, but whatever, like, cool, if you wanna take it that seriously, go right ahead." And so, like,
Yeah.
the whole time, it was just dry, nothing happened,
God, that's
it was just straight serious, I remember the guy, like, barely stepped over, not, um it was like a weird, like his footing was weird and somebody called like a footing violation immediately, and I'm just like, "Oh, it's
no.
gonna be one of these." And it was just like a hawk, like every single time, like if you're in circle one, like immediately, like everyone's staring at you, like making
Mhm.
sure your foot doesn't go over. I'm like, "Okay, we're playing one of these." And like the thing was is like immediately when
So
that happened,
awkward.
my my ability and my mental game just like, it was gone. Like,
Mhm.
I was overthinking everything. I was overthinking my disc selections. I, like, immediately like, everything that I knew about the game just went out the window. And
Right.
that's the difference between, like, amateur and, like, professionals. Like, I mean, professionals are still trying to figure it out as well, and, like, you obviously, a main person is Eagle. Like, he went from like, had no control whatsoever, and, like, I feel like this year was one of his strongest years for mental game. But then you
Mhm.
saw, like I've seen it where Kyle Klein, he went on a deep end, especially during the, Portland, Oregon one. Like, he just was straight, like, having a major mental game problem. And, like
Mhm.
And so it's definitely like you could be the most physical person out there. You could be able to throw the furthest, you're able to, make 45-foot putters. You could do all of that. But at the end of the day, like if you're mentally not like strong enough and you're not capable of jumping over the like obstacles and like dealing with the mental and like dealing the insides, like uh that's that's why that's what makes it difficult. And it's hard to stick with the game. So
I mean, we're talking mental and stuff. We might as well flip it over. To I mean, Isaac Robinson, I would say, has one of the strongest mental games, and which took him through worlds like it was nothing. I mean, calm as can be, and he's got one of the prettiest putter throws I've ever
mhm.
seen. Like his putter throwing, mid range throwing, like pretty sure that's all he really throws. He usually rarely throws out anything that's, driver wise and stuff. He's just because he's got such a beautiful touch with everything. But honestly, like I think the mental game of staying calm, nothing looks like it phases him ever. Like he always has a smile on his face, and
Oh
it
yeah.
just Oh, so clean. And he's got such a strong mental game. I would say and consider that that's why he's become one of the top players this year. I'm not sure they haven't announced rookie player of the year yet. Have they? They've been pretty slow this year on that.
I don't know fully. That's the one thing I haven't checked, but I do want to do a hot take on that with the worlds for him. I do think the one of the main keys of him winning is especially his dad caddying for him. There's a lot of moments that
Mm,
he's had multiple interviews talking about how there was a lot of like moments where he had second thoughts on things, and his dad like corrected, be like, "What are you doing? Like, just stick with your
just
game. Just
hmm
got you got X amount of throws left, X amount of holes left. This is all you need to do." And like, if his dad was not there saying that, could he mess up?
mm.
Could it be like Anthony Barella at the European Open? I'm just saying, like, could he had a little blowout just like that? Like, same situation. Anthony Barella, amazing player, had that massive blowout. OB after
Mm.
OB after OB in Europe. And it's just like, could Isaac Robertson could have done the same thing if his dad wasn't able to reel him back in? Like, that's my hot take is did
Seeing
he win worlds because of his father being a very well caddy?
you bringing up Anthony Bro, like seeing moments like that, like in the the tour there and the tournament, like when you watch pro players do those same mistakes you do, you're just like, okay,
Just emptying the bag.
yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one that does it.
I've
Pros
done
do it
it.
sometimes too.
I've done it on an island hole. I've literally gone down where I had 3 discs left, and I'm just like, "Do I just pick up my bag and leave right now, or do I just deal with this?" And, like and you finally make it on, and it's just like,
hmm
"Oh, I know I've emptied a bag before," and that was, like, one of my first ever tournament. It was awful. Like, I almost, like, quit disc golf on my very first one. It very first tournament ever, was raining the entire time, nonstop,
Oh,
just
right. I remember
straight,
that.
just pour it was not even like a normal, like, drizzle. It was a
hmm
pour down the entire time, and, half the course is woods, and so, like, our first hole, I confidently threw off the tee, and I slipped straight up like cartoon style, slipped and fell right on my back. And I honestly I should have DNF'd right there. Like, I should have called it done. And immediately I was like, no, this is my first ever tournament. I just want to play it out. And like, man, it was not fun at all. Like, it was just brutal. And I should have like it was the worst experience ever for my first ever tournament, but at the same time, though, I'm excited it did happen because it was just like, could go up from here. I'm just like, at the end of the day,
hmm
I saw the reality of like, maybe, it's gonna be better. Like, I'm gonna be good. So yeah, it was just one of those like crazy like moments where I'm just like, dang, like that was awful. But yeah,
Yeah, it's
let's do a hot take for 2024 to wrap up the segment. What like
mm.
obviously we'll have it in here. We'll have it in
Yep, yep.
books. We'll even post a little social reel on this one. Like, what is a hot take that you think will happen in 2024? Let's start bringing them up.
Let's think. Hot take of 2024. As much as I love the guy, and I think he's such a fantastic player, and you brought him up, I think Anthony Barella goes yet another year without
Mm.
winning an elite or a major or anything like that.
Even a silver series?
The A tiers, I don't know if they're really playing them this year. Are they?
Are they
Like
not?
they're not. I I think they changed it a
Oh
little
wait, didn't
bit.
they changed it? Oh yeah, they did change it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
been
yeah,
no
yeah.
more. Oh yeah, that's
But I
right.
don't. Okay, here, hot take: Anthony Barella would not win the pro tour, a pro tour event.
Okay.
I just he's in that Matty O situation. I feel like where
Mm.
it's really good, played for a really long time, and I love that Matty O finally won. I hope he can get some more now that he's finally
It was
went
cool.
over that.
It was
That
definitely
was
cool.
fantastic. It was amazing, but I Anthony Rose is just another one of those players has all the talent in the world, and I would love to see him win. Right? I just
Mhm.
I until he does it, I'm going to say, yeah, again, another year is going to go by without him
Yeah.
winning one.
Even though I would have liked to see Simon Lizotte win on his home course, like to be honest, I'm gonna be biased on that.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see him win on his home course on that. But I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying I'm a Simon Lizotte fan. I'm just saying that it would have been cool seeing him win on home course. I am a big believer of like those, but especially for Maple Hill. For yeah, no, that's a good hot take. I'm gonna say mine, and I'm excited for it. I think
Oh,
that my hot take is Isaac Robinson would not make the top 5 for next year's Worlds.
ooh,
He will not make the top 5.
you
I
know,
and I'll back up the reasoning. I feel I feel NPO right now is so unpredictable of who will win. And not only that, there are so many
especially at Worlds.
just insanely great talent, like new and old. I just feel like right now we are in a era that we're just gonna get multiple like winners each year, not only for the worlds, but for just regular pro tour tournaments. Like we'll have our
Mhm,
consistent players like Calvin Heimberg. We'll have our consistent players. But as of right now, I just don't see us having any back to backs or even potentials. I know technically last year he won or he came in like what, like second or third last year
mhm.
for worlds. I understand that. I just fully believe because of how insanely good MPO is right now and how difficult it is, I don't think he's gonna make top 5.
So to back that up being a hot take, we need to remember they are going to New London. If you're a disc golf fan, you know of Foundation, you know of Brody, you know of Paul, you know all those players playing at New London. Hard course. A lot of trees and crazy lines, which Isaac excels at, right? He excels at courses like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
saying he's not going to get top five, it's that's hard to say. That I I feel like he should get a top five at a course like that.
No.
I,
Yeah.
will give you that one.
Yeah. I know where the line is on there. And we'll see what happens, and I'm very excited for that. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're gonna do. We just wrapped up 2023 season, and also our hot takes for 2024. Definitely leave down in the comments. Um, what's your hot take of 2024? But other than that, let's definitely just move right into best best moments we had this season, some worst moments, or even some top disc of the season that we've actually used. That's maybe something that's we finally got to get our hands on and then enjoyed it, or what whatever it is. So yeah, Kyle, if you want to kick off with that.
So some good moments I've had. I had two aces this year.
That's
Two.
awesome.
I'm a player. So
That's what I
I am
got.
somebody that has played disc golf now for anywhere from 8 to 10 years ish or so. Not, has it been that long? Maybe closer to 7, 8. I don't know. It's been a long time, but I've only been seriously playing for what, going on 3 now, I would say. 20 COVID year is when I took it serious finally.
Yeah.
Um, so for 3 years now, I've taken it serious, and I finally got my first two aces. An ace that both of them happened at league nights, and which is fantastic because you have card mates. Everybody's around. Um, and I will say,
Makes it legit.
fantastic. Oh, it makes it legit. It's fun, having
It
everybody
does make
around
it
and everything.
legit.
So it does. It's not by
It's-
yourself. You have everybody around. You have
yeah.
cheering and everything
Yeah.
else. So fantastic moments for me there.
Yeah, no, it's that is the one thing. Honestly, best moment for me is I have to say I went one of my best rounds this year, which was under 8. Um So I definitely
That
want to say
one.
that that was a great one. Just honestly, just smart golf. It was weird because like I've been watching the Paul Ulibarri's courses. Obviously, you and
Mm-hmm.
I kind of pitched in
Mm-hmm.
on that, and we've been going through those. But also, like, especially what Kristen Tatar was talking about, and Isaac Roberts, and like even Haley King. The reason why she won, she's like, I just played
That's
boring
a
golf,
fantastic player.
which is
Mm-hmm.
it's just great. Is like it's really
Mm-hmm.
true. Like if you just stick with boring golf, like you're just sticking with the stuff, it legitimately works. And like I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try it because I always tried like risk. I always was like a risk taker where I always try to do a little bit more of like a insanely
Mm-hmm.
like line and like I wouldn't say it wasn't as crazy as like Simon Lazat or like Eagle McMahon, like any of the Crush Boys, but I definitely took some lines that would not make sense. And then I was like, you know what, let me just back it up and like actually just follow what the course designer was, you know, going for. Like what was his actual ideas? And I did it. And it was great. It felt good and like it was amazing feeling.
But as you said, as amateur players, we don't always necessarily see just the straight up easiest line that we should be taking because
No.
we see basket, we say
I see
shoot
gap.
at basket.
Yeah. No, I
There's a
see
tree. There's a tree. There's a basket. I don't see the nice hyzer line. I don't see this. I see
no.
basket.
My first year of playing disc golf was this. I see basket, I shoot towards exactly at basket, and then I get mad why my disc goes far left. And I'm like, why is my disc going far left when I shot it straight at the basket? And
Mm-hmm.
I realized, oh, you know, I'm shooting or I'm throwing with an overstable disc. Maybe I should shoot a little bit more to the right to let it fade back in to where maybe the basket actually is. And I'm just like, you know, it's those amateur moments where it's like, I could keep throwing this
Mm-hmm.
disc. I've thrown this disc 100 times. It's going to land in that same spot, far left. And I'm like, I better
Right.
start throwing.
Which
So,
is a tease for future episodes that's talking about different things like that, like
mhm,
disc selection and everything else and future tournaments and everything else. So I'm excited to talk a lot about that stuff. So I would say honestly, worst moment for this year is just not playing enough tournaments. I think I only played
mhm,
officially 2 sanction events this year, which I try to play at least a sanction event a month. I did play a doubles tournament here and there. I run league nights every Friday, so it's not like
yeah.
I'm not playing and stuff like that. I am doing things. I am involved in the local community and everything else.
But
It's just it's been a
this was our first season though, where we were 800 miles away from each other.
right, right, right.
Like this was like because there was a lot of the times where I'll travel up to you and we'll do like tournaments and like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that was a very much more of like a like a motivator almost of like hey, this tournament's happening and I was like yeah, I got you, let's just go and do it. And so it was a lot of like and it wasn't even the factor of like we wanted to compete like with each other, like it was just more like a let's just go play some disc golf because
Right.
all of the tournaments we've done besides one that wasn't a doubles tournament, we were on an actual card together. But other than
Mm-hmm.
that, like most of them, we weren't even on cards together. So like it was not
Nope.
even like we were hanging out. Like we were on separate
Exactly.
cards. So it was just one of those
Mm-hmm.
things. And like um I think that was one thing that was difficult. And that was really one of my worst moments this year was like not able to play as much. But also definitely losing my one of my most used disc. And that was very difficult because I went to go pick it up where the guy said he left it and it was gone. So
It's still oh no.
and so yeah, it was not that's not a good feeling. And
Lost disc moments.
it was a 2022 Ledgestone Raptor, which
The Raptors.
I got from a tournament in Walnut from one of my, you know, wins for the credits. So it's like, it was a good sentimental one, but it was one of those like ones that like I it was my wheelhouse. Like I like 70%,
A good
75% of the
Raptor is
time,
fantastic.
75% of the time I was using it. Like it was definitely my go-to uh driving disc. So
Yeah, well, I have three of them. One's in Florida.
yeah,
Because I as well lost a disc on there.
yeah.
So
I may have to
I know
just
how that feels.
I might have to just replenish you the money because I had it in my possession and somehow it just disappeared with all
It's
of the
just super.
craziness of the
It's all
wedding
right
and
though,
stuff.
because yeah, which yeah, I mean that it happens, but
um,
um
but
Raptor is
what
one of my favorite discs.
I know, and we're talking about this. We are actually not big disc off. We're not big disc craft lent like guys. We don't really throw disc craft. Like the only two discs that I actually throw in their line is a Raptor and a Luna. Those are my
Zones.
two.
You're missing out on the zones. I'm
Fine
just throwing it out
zone.
there. The zones.
I have a
They're
zone, but
so good.
that's my backup approach. Honestly, you know what my upshot is now, which I was gonna actually going to talk about, a very unexpected disc that I did not know was going to be amazing until it finally landed in my bag. I
Set.
freaking love the glitch. Freaking
We don't have one
MVP.
yet. We don't have one yet. Everybody loves it, and I
Oh
mean, Simon
man,
loves it.
it is.
Drew Gibson did love it, but now he's throwing the wall. I don't know if anybody's catching up and watching his vlogmas. Him and Simon are doing like every other day, and
Yeah.
Yuli's uploading too with them. I love watching all three of their channels. I mean, just continue to consume all the disc golf content. Like it's
Yes.
awesome. It's amazing,
We
and
want you to also check ours and then theirs. Like
yeah,
we are very
exactly.
like we're not doing this to go against them. We absolutely love everybody. So like anybody is
hmm
evolving, even the Nick and Matt show, like go check them out if that's like your cup of tea. Like
hmm
definitely like I'm telling you, like we're just here for just disc golf loving. That's all we're here for. But yeah, no, I absolutely freaking love the glitch. First off, it's a lime green disc. Like it looks clean. I first throw ever, like first tee off throw,
hmm
freaking hit the chains. Almost almost an ace for the
Finally
first
got your
throw
ace.
ever. No, I'm saying I almost got the ace.
Well, yeah, yeah. You almost finally got your ace.
Well, it's happened to me twice. Okay. So, I mean, it's actually happened multiple times. I think the biggest one was I was in a tournament and it, it was like 300 and something feet. And it was my Raptor that I lost, of course. And I threw it and it literally hit the middle, like hole with the chains. Like it hit and there was so much velocity and momentum. It literally hit and just bounced right out. And like, but the people that were waiting because there's a backup for the next hole, you just that even then, like,
They
even though
yelled.
they first thought it went in, so they were like,
hmm
"Oh my god, dude! Like, holy years, that was amazing!" And then like, I like, of course, they're hyping it up a little bit too much. Where I'm just like,
Uh-huh.
wait, did I get it in? And so like that, like anticipation, like I'm telling you, dude, like my heart was like pounding so fast, and like I'm just like freaking out. I'm like, was that my first ace? And then like I walked up, and it's literally right under the
On the
basket,
ground.
right under the basket. I
Yeah.
mean, like, great, I got a birdie. I cannot complain, but man, I would pay money to have my first ace. Like
Oh,
I'm
it's awesome. Once you get it, it feels good. There's actually a local guy here that he's only played for a year. He just started.
yeah.
I can't even he's gotten 20 something. I think he said aces already. It's unbelievable. This kid is blows my mind. It took me, like I said, I've
Yeah.
been playing for about 8ish years. I would say 8. But seriously for 3 years, and I've finally got my first two aces this season.
Yeah.
Finally, you know what I mean? And he's over here throwing aces like Simon Lazat does in his videos. It's unbelievable.
I'm getting close. It's like it's beginning a lot of like I'm beginning a lot of like under the basket, hitting the rim
hmm
or hitting the chains, and then hitting I've also hit the top of the basket. So like the lines that I'm finally like forming, I'm getting the lines down and like and I'm feeling confident now because especially like how I've fully changed my form. Like I've been getting the taste of the basket where it's like it's gonna happen eventually. So like it's there. It's just I just have to fine tune some things. And then
Yeah. I
that's
would say
pretty
though, overall, so going back to it, overall, my main disc, my workhorse in my bag, staple in my bag, and it's been for years, if a few years now, it's got to be the zone. And I know you said, I also want to say, I've now that I've learned over about disc, what they are, what the meanings behind it are,
mm,
I've got a newfound enjoyment out of a lot of disc golf uh, disc, different molds. I actually have two buzzes in my bag now. I hated the buzzes. So when I first started playing,
mhm.
right, I bought a buzz because that's what I heard about. Everybody threw the
Yeah.
buzz. Like I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I
me
gotta buy
too.
a buzz. So what I didn't know that when I bought a buzz, it has a little thing underneath it that says OS, overstable buzz. No idea what that meant, right? I didn't know. I just saw the word buzz. I'm like, oh, they must be the same. I didn't know there's overstable buzzes. I didn't know SS means, understable. I didn't know OS meant overstable, and buzz is just a buzz. So I would throw this thing, and it's like, again, one of those situations. This is supposed to be a straight fine disc. I can't, why is it burning out on me so hard, fading so hard? I gave up on Discraft, right? From the Buzz and a couple other
Yeah.
discs. I didn't understand what they meant. I had no idea what those abbreviations meant. I was just a casual person, just walk into a store like, oh, I heard of this disc. Let me grab it and buy it. Oh, I heard of this. Let me just grab it and buy it. Now that I understand the meaning behind these discs,
Yeah.
I actually have a new enjoyment from the Buzz. I have a new, like now that my arm speed has gotten a little bit better, and it's not necessarily my arm speed, it's more so my form, my timing, my reach back into the power back pocket and coming back out and stuff like that, like the sling effect and stuff like that. I'm actually these 12 speed drivers and stuff like that. I'm actually getting the turnover and everything. Like
Mhm.
they're flying like they need to.
Yeah.
I'm not a far thrower, right? I finally ripped the whole eight at our local disc golf course. Is 600 and something feet. It goes on the outside of the baseball diamonds, and there's the fence that comes out, which
Yeah.
is extremely misleading. It's about 325, and
Yeah.
people that I know that could throw it over, struggle to get it over the fence because that fence just throws off everything. I don't know what it is. It's a visual thing or what, but people are struggling to get it over there. Whipped a 375 ish or
Mhm.
something Raider shot just right over it,
Yeah.
just almost to the 14th basket. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, and that's a 12-speed disc. I never could get 12 speed.
Oh
I
yeah.
never bagged 12-speed discs in my bag ever
Oh
because
yeah.
I knew I can't handle it. Now that I played so long, I'm handling this stuff. So like the Hades I've been throwing, Zeus, I used to burn out left for me because I had no idea, I didn't have the arm for it. I'm like, oh, it's a Zeus. Okay, throw it. It just drops down. But now I can get it to turn a little bit before it fades out. So
Yeah.
it's such an amazing feeling when you finally learn this stuff as an amateur player and getting your shots to go further and everything else. It's a lot of fun.
No, and that's truly amazing. And like it's just great moments that, you know, as an amateur, like you take those small wins. And that's the whole point of it is like if people who are listening right now is like, it's like, oh man, like, you know, I can't even make like a, 15-foot putt, or like I get shaky when I'm at a 20-foot putt, like, the only thing that could happen is get those reps in. Like, I know that sounds boring, but like you gotta practice. Like, and
Oh yeah.
and like, and that's the thing is like if you want to be better, you gotta just practice. And like even the casual golfers, like ball golf, like they go out and they play golf weekly, and that's them working on their game. And like a lot of the people may have like a little like putting, like, at their home, like where they're able to do like a little, soft putts and stuff. But like back with the disc golf, like, it's just if you want to get better, like you definitely have to get those reps in, definitely follow those things. And one of my biggest things that I've done where um I wouldn't throw any distant drivers until I could finally feel confident enough with my mid ranges and also my fairway drivers. Like even then, like
Mhm.
I really try to if it's if it's a like definitely a course that's no more than like 200 feet, and I know that sounds like crazy, but there's a lot of like beginner courses. I'm not
Pitch and putt courses.
yeah, I'm not yeah, I'm straight throwing putters, throwing,
Mhm.
putt approaches, and I'm maybe a mid-range. And the only reason I throw a mid-range is because I'm just learning that mid-range because I
Mhm.
is right now, I don't know why, but my hands do not like mid-ranges, and I don't understand why I'm having it difficulties with main mid-ranges. The only time I can actually throw a mid-range is if I have like a fan grip, and it's weird because like if I
But
try
you
to
get a lot of control with fan grip though.
yeah,
So, and a
if
lot
I
of those your control. So,
yeah, and that's the problem is like I can't grip it how some people can do it and like tee off with it. Like I have to fan grip it for some reason, but I don't know if it's because of my hand size. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I have more control with my fan grip and throwing a mid range than I do as actual grip. Because if I grip a mid range, it grip blocks every single time. And I don't know, it's because it's just the rim, but the only thing that I could actually like fully put a nice grip to, like an actual proper grip, is fairway drivers and obviously distant drivers, which now I've been throwing more distant drivers in. So like I have like an Enigma, um, especially my would you consider a Grace a distant driver? I guess you
it
would,
is.
right? It's a
Yeah, it's
speed
11 speed. Yeah,
11.
it's a
So I mean
yeah,
like
it's a distant.
yeah. So but yeah, I don't really honestly, I live in the fairway range. I just I could throw my fairways really far. I think
Funny is I have a tendency of power gripping too much and not learning to fan grip and or control. I power grip everything.
yeah, I
I'm the opposite where you like the fan grips. I got a power grip.
my short game I feel is really strong. I really enjoy the short game, but also um like for example, I just recently played disc obviously play disc golf. Um I kept hitting 45 putts. I'm finally hitting those. You remember when I remember we keep playing and I'm just like, one of these days I'm gonna start connecting
Mhm.
these circle two putts. Well, guess what?
He's our putter.
Ty Guy is
In
a
our doubles.
great circle two.
Yep.
I've been hitting those circle twos and it's been and they're clean because I
Hmm.
changed something in my second ones. I I've honestly I kind of do the not the typical who does that? I forgot who does it, but they kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but it's more of a like a toss to a person as
Gannon
opposed
kind of does.
as opposed to a like you do the whole typical like you bring it down. Oh no. Robbie C said it. And
Robbie C. Oh yeah, Robbie C's
that's
video
who has said it where he
playing
like
catch with
it's
somebody.
like you just playing catch with somebody and then like I instead of me like going down like this and then going out, like I started to like just, do the typical lobbing it to somebody. And so I just treat the basket as a person and I do that typical lob in and it just ching every time. And I'm just like mind blown that all it took was one person that was just like, just play catch with the basket. And I'm just
So
like,
that's yeah, that's another thing I'd like to talk about maybe in an upcoming episode because we don't want to get everything in one day. Is talking
oh yeah,
about learning and the YouTube videos, and there's so much content in there, and
yeah,
how I feel and you feel you should take in the content and stuff like that. It'd be a fun discussion to have.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's amazing of how much one thing that somebody can say that just click, it just clicks. It's a light bulb, and it's just a way of that person described it compared to another person saying the same thing but used different verbiage, and it just didn't click. But once that one person says the right words that click in your mind, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I get it now.
Yeah. But it's just really cool. Yeah, let's just go into our next segment and then we could just, start ending it. Like I said, we're gonna be hitting up a lot of different segments. This one is gonna be a little bit of a longer one, as you could tell. We're gonna actually skip one of these, but in the future podcast, what we're gonna be doing is actually gonna be going through the rules book with you guys. So any of the amateurs and just anybody that wants to know disc golf, or anybody who's listening right now who is just starting to understand the game of disc golf, we want to kind of go through the rule book with you and actually go through each rules and just kind of go through some situational things that's happened to us that we've seen on of course on pro tour, or we'll just sit and talk about it and just kind of go through like what's going on. But we'll definitely will hit a rule
It's
next podcast. But yeah, what were we gonna about to
Yeah,
say?
yeah, that's fine. And especially with the rule thing, just really quick, because being an amateur level,
Yeah.
there's a lot of rules that people don't know or like curious about.
Oh
And
yeah.
those that do know rules too, which makes the segment nice, is it, like you said, we'll talk about different situation that has happened to us
Yeah.
even or we've seen. Because there's like when you're playing MA3, MA2 and stuff, it gets really awkward of not
Yeah.
wanting to be that guy to call it a rule is rule. Do you
Yeah.
and should you? And here's what it states and stuff. So I think it'd be a good segment for people to also, down in the comments to talk about certain rules or certain things that that they had to be a part of on the course.
Yeah, and like, but the thing is the reason why we're creating this segment is, it, at the end of the day, we just want to make sure that you're prepared for, especially if you're going
Mm-hmm.
to do a tournament. Like, you don't want to be embarrassed because, like, there, even when I was just starting, like, I was kind of learning the rule and I accidentally did something, and people were like, "Oh, you actually, you can't do that," and I'm just like, "Oh, I am so sorry." I'm just like, "Oh no, no, like that's just a warning, like." But
Mm-hmm.
that that is something. And so it's just like we just want to make sure that something so simple it doesn't happen to you. And like because there are moments that I've seen where if you get called on it, it really messes up your mental game, like we say, and you're not going to be doing well, and it's almost as better just for you to just DNF than keep going and like just losing if you don't want to be there. But yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, other than that though, we are going to do this topic, and it is going to be just kind of disc off recent rules, going through all of that. Obviously, like I said, we're in the off season, so we're kind of just waiting. We're just all sitting in that perfect just chair, waiting for some player moves. I'm definitely excited to see where Gannon Burr is going to finally go. Um, Discmania, but I don't I don't know. Like
That's been the rumor for the past like
I'm
year.
just
Everybody wants to see him be the new Crush Boy. So
like, just make him a crush boy already. I mean, come on. I don't really know. Maybe Prodigy will actually take care of him. I don't really know. I think he's kind of done. But at the same time though, I'm just gonna say it. You can't complain about a company's plastic if you keep winning every single time. So I mean,
when
I'm just gonna point that out right now. I'm just
you're that good, it doesn't matter
like
what you throw.
like I'm sorry, kid, but like you can complain about the plastic and say like how it's whatever, but and cheap, but you easily show different this season when you were up there and you've won a couple times, and just like it's like, all right, dude, like I'm just gonna just say that. But other than that, like we are gonna go through some rules. This is going to be a great segment. We don't want to try to be like a TMZ or anything like that. This is more the factor of just like recent news that are happening currently that you may not know, and just kind of give you some insights of whatever. Also, we may use a segment as well for some like history of like where the game has gone. Like for example, I just learned just recently that the very, very begin, there wasn't really an actual like the disc golf like world was just to see how far you could throw a disc. It wasn't even just it wasn't even like playing golf. It was a skill base where how far you could throw, and then like could you hit this target? And then like
Yeah,
it started off as that. And then, which
Yep.
was funny because they were using the like ultimate frisbee ones, where obviously like those things just glide. I mean, like,
Yep, exactly. And disc golf's
but
been around for a long time,
oh,
so there's a lot of
100%.
history to it. And like you said, they were aiming at targets that was just a post with a red square on it or something, or area that you had to hit
Yeah,
off of. Like
it was like
it's
painted red, and then
yep.
that's what they did. And so it'll be interesting to see like just in this segment what we talk about. But I'm gonna pass it off to Kyle again, and he definitely has some insight. All of this stuff, by the way, all of our sources that we're actually using is Ulti World Disc Golf. It's pretty well known for a lot of people, a lot of places. If you are interested, just just type in Ulti World and um Ulti World Disc Golf, and then you literally get the latest topics of what's happening, what's not, and then obviously this will filter in throughout, but I'm gonna kind of stay away from like Reddits. I just like, to me that's when
Right.
we start getting more involved into like the whole quote unquote TMZ realm. I
Hmm.
like I said, I don't want to become that, but I think Ulti World um is definitely just some nice little articles that are happening, and so I'm gonna pass that off and see what we got.
So I just want to briefly, before we talk about the second topic, briefly mention, of course, as Ty said in Alti World, the lawsuit, as they would say, against McCease, which is Paul Macbeth and Dylan Cease, um, that has been dismissed. So that has kind of played its course, um,
And that just happened
and
today.
has that just happened today. Yep, exactly. It's been dismissed. So because something about failed to comply with the court order to provide responses to events during discovery. So it was just dismissed. So that we're moving on from that. And in other news as well, this is actually from Toy Life itself. We did get some player movement where they interviewed Big Germ stepped in and helped Yuli out and Torlight podcast, and we found out Connor O'Reilly is going to Lone Star. Another one to add to their list of a ton of players. No, but the pros are always fun though to watch. They did have a good lineup of pros already. As of right now, though, I know Nico's still kind of their mainstay name there, the big name, but they did add Connor O'Reilly, which is pretty big for him. I would love to. I love Connor's another one that has a really fun Vlogmas going on right now, learning the new bag and everything else. He's playing a course at different course every day, I believe, for Vlogmas this season, which would be a lot of fun. But it's another add to Lone Star, and it's a player that started out strong. I believe it was 2021 when he got his first pro tour win. So he shot up pretty quick, but for the last couple of years he's struggled and barely making the tour card, according to him. He's like he said, he was not sure if he's the last person that got the tour card or pretty close to it. So
Dang.
it'd be interesting to see if this new plastic um, how it will work for him
Do you,
coming over from Latitude.
do you think the tour card is the same equivalence to a Willy Wonka golden ticket?
Oh, it's got to be at this point, especially with
Like,
how hard.
it's like
Like,
playing the
think of how
lottery.
hard. Oh, think of how hard
Yeah.
the division has gotten, right?
Oh,
So we
100%.
had people, like they said, if they were talking about it, if you're in the top 10 in a tournament, or if you're at least up in the 10th position, there's a chance you could win. Like that's how close it is now. And that's just extending. And
Yeah.
like I said, the more and the younger kids that are coming in, gaining burrs and stuff like that, the harder it's going to be able to keep the tour card. So it's
Yeah.
really interesting to see how far they extend it and how exclusive they end up making the tour too. I'm really curious about that. But the move for Lone Star, I really like the move for Connor.
Yeah.
Another, of course,
That's gonna be
Texas
cool.
guy.
I know it's Austin, Texas. I mean, that's pretty cool. He joined 2017 for as a member of the PGA at least. But yeah, it's really cool. Um, Definitely have to, while we're talking about Lone Star, because like I said, we guys, we are not. sponsored by anybody. Personally, Kyle and I love to have mixed bags. So honestly, if there's any companies out there that associates in that realm, um, we're definitely willing to take that. But other than that, um, if you, Kyle, could bag right now a Lone Star disc, which one would you do out of all of them? I know my answer immediately. I'll say
I
my
would say, go ahead, say yours.
I'll say the Ranger.
See, that's what's hard is I love the Ranger.
I would say the Ranger. I've got to dabble through 7 of them that I like honestly have like played. It would have to be my Ranger, my Walker. That's it. Yeah, no, Walker because it's a nice flick and then like overstable, but Ranger, honestly, it just to me it is a great disc. Like there's
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the one I
So
have, but I that
no,
is like
it's solid.
that's
It's
my
straight. It's
main
point and shoot.
mid-range. Yeah.
Yeah, the Ranger is the Texas Ranger is a point and shoot
Yeah.
disc. So that's what makes it tough because I love the Texas Ranger. I loved the Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
It flies so nice for me. It's just so the main reason I love the Tumbleweed is because comfort in my hand. It just fits
Mhm.
perfect for me. Right? It really felt like the rims are different. I know. So it sounds weird to say that it felt like a Vandal to me, but what I mean it felt like a Vandal to me is comfortability in the hand is what I mean.
Man, I
They
do like
feel
me some
different,
Vandals.
but they do feel different in the rim. I'm not saying they
Mhm.
feel the same, but comfortability in the hand wise is the Tumbleweed. I putted with Jackrabbits last year. I'm not sure what I'm going to putt with this season, but honestly, the Jackrabbits for money, I think my putting
Mhm.
game was probably the best it's been since I've started playing, and I these Jackrabbits were really reliable. But I'll just say the Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
I really love
Yeah.
so much this season.
That's perfect. But yeah, honestly, I think the next podcast, what we're going to be talking about is actually our bags coming into 2024. I think that'd be a great topic that we hit for the next podcast. We'll go through our bags, not like in person. We're not going to show you guys exactly, but we'll just verbally say it. But other than that, like, is there any closing remarks that you have just to end our first ever podcast?
No, just welcome everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Like I
Yeah,
said,
100%.
Weekend Warriors. Just we're just amateurs talking about amateur disc golf. Of course, we're going to be talking about the pros. I mean, we love disc golf, so
Oh, yeah,
we love the pros. We love local tournaments. We love league nights and everything else. So,
yeah,
um, you know, welcome in, discuss things down in the comments with us and everything else.
yeah,
Again, as Ty said, we do have socials, Instagram. I have another YouTube channel as well that I'm going to be trying to post at least once a week. But it's getting colder out, so it's going to get harder. But at least till Christmas, I'm going to do a mini vlogmas kind of at least once video a week. I work with the post office, so I am super busy right now. So I can't do as much as everybody else can. But
we will
yeah,
be
check us out there and stuff like that. So
we will be doing a, YouTube vlog gameplay during the Christmas time because I will be traveling up there. So we will be doing that. We'll talk about that. I honestly it's probably gonna be one of those things is doesn't matter how cold it is. We might just even do like a 9 hole or something just to do something just to
get
show.
something.
But other than that, guys, I just want to say thank you so much if you guys made it this far. If you can just like it for any platform that you guys listening to. I definitely know we'll be on Spotify. We're gonna be on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and then also if you're on here on YouTube, definitely give a like, turn on that notification bell, sub to us, and also leave a comment for the next just anything on topics of like this is amazing, we love it. Any like topics that you want to hear, we're all here for that. And like I said, definitely make sure you're watching our Instagram. Right now, you could go to Weekend Warrior Disc Golf. We will be up there on Instagram and definitely have the notifications on there because be on the lookout for our first ever giveaway. and we definitely want you to be a part of that. But like I said, guys, my name is Ty, and I have Kyle Hill with me, and we are signing out. Have a wonderful day.